time and the lack of it, and I've had so little of it this month. It's just been crazy. I've missed out on the bluebells, I've missed out on the wild garlic, and I've missed out on quite a bit of stuff this month. But what can you do when you want to carry on your hobby, but life is just getting in the way, and you haven't got time to do very much of it? Well, that's where it's nice to keep a honeypot shop in reserve. Now, what is a honeypot shop? Let me explain.
And today I want to explore the question, should you take photographs of a honeypot shop, or should you explore the honeypot shops? And what I mean by honeypot shop is, you know, the images that everybody has got. They're photographed to death, you know, locations that you would always find photographers. And I've seen many images of this location where I'm going today. And should you do that or not? And I think really the short answer is, of course, why not? Why shouldn't you? And the reason why I say that is because today I've got very limited time. I'm not really sure if this week I've got a lot of time to put together a video. So I thought, well, if this location was on my maps, was flagged up on my Google Maps, and I know it was in the area, I was less than an hour away from it, and it was on my way home. So I thought, well, yeah, why not? Let's go for it. And, you know, because it's a honeypot shop, I know there's a shop there, so I don't have to have hours walking around trying to find somewhere to take a picture or anything. I know there's a shot to be had. So that's what we're going to do today, and hopefully we'll get some pictures like this. The thing is, I know it's around here somewhere, but look at all these beautiful rocks and the moss and everything. So I'm gingerly picking my way through so that we can get to this location. I'm sure some of you know where I am already. And here we are, the not so secret mill of Foradale. There we go, can we see that? That's better. Get my Swede out of the way. So yeah, how beautiful is that? So yeah, I'm going to spend the next sort of, I don't know, half hour or so. The sun is so bright at the minute, but I'm going to spend the next maybe half hour, 45 minutes. That's pretty much all I've got really, and then I've got to get going. So again, that's the reason, the beauty of coming to a honeypot sort of area, because you know the shot is there. It's not going to take you long to set up. You know what the shot is. You can get that particular shot, but then you can just sort of try and find something of your own, maybe a little bit more unique, or your own take on the situation. So while I'm waiting for the sun to disappear behind the clouds, I'm gonna just have a little scout around and just see if by moving the camera around whether we can get something different. Not sure we will, but we'll give it a go. Okay, so I'm purging myself right down low. When it comes to this location, there is pretty much, from what I can see, only one real shot of the subject, and that's pretty much in this area. I might just scope down that way a little bit, but like I say, this is the section where the photographs are always taken. So, and quite rightly too, because it is the best shot, I think, really. I'm going to sort of like move the camera backwards and forwards and just see what we can get. But I was hoping one of the decisions that made me come here this time round was the canopy, really. I was going to wait to sort of maybe summertime when the canopy is more full, but then I thought, well, let's go with all this new growth on there. It might sort of make it a little bit more luminous, maybe, I don't know. Maybe get a little bit more light. From the pictures that I've seen, it can be quite sort of like overgrown, and I think I do prefer it like that. So Yeah, it's just it's just lovely to be here. I mean, I've seen so many videos from this place, so it's just nice to be here myself. But yeah, when composing a picture here, you've got to be mindful of so many things. Where you've got there is a chance of getting sky up in the top corners of your image, left and right. Now it's just typical. I've got myself set up, and the sun has come out really harsh, so it's kind of making all the highlights very high and very bright, and it's not really working too well on the camera because I want to bring up the shadows as well, because where it's shadowy, it is very shadowy. So I'm just going to hang around here for the next sort of half an hour or so, I think, and then just snap away. I can see there's going to be some clouds going over the sun shortly, and I think that's where we'll be in business. And I'm being photobombed by a sheep. Worth coming back here when there's a bit more going on in the canopy. It's nice that the light is actually on the mill itself at the moment, but I do like the fact where I've seen the images where all the growth is all sort of hanging around. It's very idyllic. It's very sort of like cozy, and I think that would be quite cool to do that. So I think I'm back up in the Lake District again at the end of the month. Maybe the end of the following month when I come up, I might make a journey to here then, and I think that'll be the best time to do it, because there is some new growth ferns at the bottom as well, and once those start springing up, I think that would look really nice, just as a bit of a interest at the front of the mill as well. But there I am picking this place of pacing, but it's just beautiful. I can't really pick it. I'm just being fussy. I think that cloud's going to miss the sun again. Oh, come on.
Oh, by heck, it's one of those guys that goes around talking to himself.
Oh, really?
No, there's a flipping stealth sheep coming up behind me. You scared the crap out of me. Come on then.
Walk away, Mavis, walk away. Don't make eye contact.
Oh, but he seems so nice.
What I'm actually doing, because obviously, again, time. Oh, such a nightmare, acting time. What I'm doing now is I'm exposing for the highlights, because the sun isn't going to do what I wanted to do. It's still very blue sky. So I get back to the car, and then it'll come in nice and rainy. We all know that's going to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to expose just for the highlights. Now on the back of the camera, it does look quite nice, actually, I must admit. Just to the highlights, just the very lightest parts of the picture are being caught by the sun, and it does look pretty dynamic. But what I'm hoping is I might be able to recover some of the shadows in Lightroom afterwards, and maybe make a bit of interest in the foreground. I'm going to check the histogram. It's not quite all the way over to the left, but it's far enough to be problematic. So that's kind of the decision that I'm making now, really. Expose to the highlights and let the shadows do what they want to do, which I'm going to take a few shots like that, just for shits and giggles, really. But yeah, I think that's going to be the way to do it. And then maybe just bring up the shadows just a little bit here until the highlights just start peaking, and then maybe do some magic in Lightroom. Let's try that. So answer to the question, should you go to a honeypot location if you're short on time? It's a firm yes from me, because one, you know there's a composition there, you don't have to go hunting around. If you've got a photography itch and it needs scratching, go straight there and get it itched, get it scratched. Because yeah, you're not hunting around, you don't have to walk miles for it. If you're short on time, you want to get out there, you want to take a few images, and you can practice your craft. You know, you can play, get used to your camera. If you're new to photography, get used to your camera, practice your technique, your composition yourself. And there's always new little compositions, little tweaks. The weather's always going to be different from when you've seen any images taken. But yeah, firm yes from me.
So I've just been able to finish work, and I looked on my Google Maps to find anything that I might have flagged up over the past 12 months of places to visit. And this little waterfall was one of the ones that was closest to where I have been working. It isn't quite what I thought it was going to be, but while we're here I thought we'd just have a go and make the best, to just play with the scene and see how we go. Now, in the time that it's taken me to get set up, the sun has actually moved around. Now there are a waterfall that's split into two, and predominantly I'm concentrating on the right hand one at the moment, because the other one was in the sunshine and it was really blown out, and everything's in shadow at the moment. So I just kind of thought I'd try and keep an even tone to the image and concentrate on the right hand cascade. The cascade's about a metre and a half tall, so it's quite pleasant. It's not going to win any prizes, but it's just nice, having not been out for so long, just to get the photography sort of brain going, and just try and find something that might seem pleasant. Now, like I said, the sun has actually moved in the time it's taken me to set up and work out where I want to be, and the left-hand waterfall is now in the shade, so I might incorporate that a little bit more into the next set of images. Now that I want to include the second waterfall, I've kept the camera pretty much the same height as the other image that I've shown you there, but I've just moved myself around to the right a little bit, just so that I could take in that second waterfall in the background. Now the sun is still obviously shining on the far background, and that's kind of blowing the highlights a little bit more than I'd like. So it was a case of just trying to bring the camera around and crop out the things that I don't want. And one of them is some of this greenery on the right hand side. It's still, because the shutter speed is being so long, the plants tend to move a little bit in the wind, so it's a little bit distracting. So I brought the camera forward a little bit just to crop that out. Some of the smaller ivy leaves and things aren't moving so much, so hopefully on the back of the camera it looks okay, but we'll see in post. But this one I've had to do not only a focus stack, but obviously it's going to be like a blend as well, because I've had to expose for the highlights on the furthest waterfall, and that's obviously if I was to expose for that one, then this one you wouldn't be able to see because it'd be too dark. So with a little bit of magic in Lightroom, we should be able to blend those two together, and hopefully this is the shot. for joining me on this one. I've pretty much had it with this location because the larger waterfall, which is below that little cascade that we were just playing with just now, that's actually on private land, and they let you know it too with all the signage and stuff around. So it's not quite what I had in mind this location for what I kind of felt that I wanted to do today. So I'm going to go back to the car, have a look at Google Maps to see if there's something else close by. And that will be the subject of next week's video. So until then, make use of those honeypot shots. If you haven't got a lot of time, get out there and take some honeypot shots, because you know that the shot is there, and you can play, you can practice your craft, and maybe you'll get something original to yourself. So never underestimate the power of those when you're short on time. And with that being said, I hope you liked the images that you've seen today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye for now. When I came out, but it was a flag that I had in my Google Maps, and I was in the area, so I thought, let's go for it and have a look. Now, there is a larger waterfall. Why am I stood under a tree? Oh my God.